This is how I was sent home in 1996, without a stitch. This is from my second surgery. I had 3 surgeries in 4 days, yet the North Broward Hospital insists I didn't have 3 surgeries, and they have no record of this one whatsoever. Now, how could I possibly have gotten these scars? This didn't happen. And what this is, it's a heavy monofilament fishing line. And it's like straws to keep my abdomen from ripping. Like I really care at this point. The doctor said in his report that I had a strain of the entire colon. That after completely removing the entire area, they found that I had feces matted along my colon wall. He said that the cancer was eating the linings of my intestines, and feces was seeping into my cavity, poisoning me. All this time, which who knows how long that was, because they didn't see anything. The only way the medical profession found that I had cancer was my organ. It had to actually blow up. But I've got proof to the medical profession that I've had cancer before my colon blew up, many, many years. You know, when you go to buy a used car, you can't see if it was in an accident. You can't see it with the naked eye. But if you take a picture, the picture will show distortion in the color. This picture was taken of me in. If you look carefully, you can actually see the cancer. My intestines, how my intestinal tract goes. And when it goes down, it's forming that big pot. Now, who knows how long that took to get that far. So all these years, all the tests, all the scans, and I'm being ridiculed about saying that I'm drug seeking. I have no reason for pain. Since then, I've had numerous surgeries, taken tumors out. I will not take chemotherapy. Now, architectural engineering consists of math, and I'm pretty good at math, and it just don't add up. It's a known fact that chemo kills good and bad cells. Right before I had my brain surgery. That they did see. Probably because there wasn't much in there to see anything else. I did research on chemotherapy. And yes, it kills the cancer they're attacking. However, if you live long enough, within a 5 to 7 year time frame, it comes back to another area of your body. Well, I'm proving to you, in the medical profession, that it's going to come back no matter what. Right now, at the present time, I've got documented proof. I've got cancer in my colon. I've got cancer on both sides of my groin. I just recently went to Cleveland Clinic 6 months ago. Had scans taken. Of course, they didn't see it. But you could see it was as big as my fist, the tumor that was in my groin. And the surgeon said to me, he says, "Miss Murphy, why do you want to take that one out when you have so many more underneath it?" Because, of course, he physically found it when he was feeling around. I said, "It's because it's big. It hurts. It's in the way." He says, "If you think I'm going to be cutting tumors out every time they come up in your lymph glands, you need to find another surgeon." I says, "Well, what other alternative do I have?" He says, "Chemotherapy." I says, "That's out of the question." Well, in a month's time, I had another tumor came up. I didn't bother going to Dr. Siffendorfer. I went to Dr. Fernandez, the CEO of Cleveland Clinic in Cleveland, in Weston, Florida. And I said to him, I wanted him to override Dr. Siffendorfer's recommendations. Now, at Cleveland Clinic, they have teams of doctors. And I said to him, "I'm sure you have more than one team. I can understand nobody in that team will operate on me, but what about another team?" He said, "No, Miss Murphy, I can't override his recommendations." I said, "Then what's your job?" I said, "What other alternative do I have?" He says, "You're going to die unless you take chemo." I said, "You know, Dr. Fernandez, you got a lot of nerve. to tell a woman that's been living, at that time I didn't know about this since 76, been living 25 years, when they told me 25 years ago they gave me 3 months to live if I didn't take chemo. You've got a lot of nerve to tell a woman that she's going to die if I don't take chemo. I'm proving to the medical profession you can live with cancer without taking chemo. Now, granted, chemo has helped some people, but I'm not going to give it a chance. He says, well, you know, Miss Murphy, you can't keep cutting on a body. I says, well, you know what? I like having control on things. And I would much rather have a doctor have a scalpel, because he has control of that scalpel, than inject something. Once it's in my bloodstream, it's over. You have no control. And I says, besides that, I saved the taxpayers a whole lot of money. Well, at Cleveland Clinic, when I had this surgery and the tumor, of course, everything they take out of me is malignant. It weighed 33 grams. The surgeon said that there was 13 tumors underneath it, and he just took the one out. I went to the director of radiology at Cleveland Clinic, Dr. Alex Espinosa. I says, Alex, this has got to stop. Millions of people are dying from what I'm living through, and I'm getting tired. At the present time, I used to be a size 40. I'm a size 10 right now. I went from 230 pounds to 170 because of the fact I couldn't get my medication. Just recently, and if you're not up on what's going on here in South Florida, we have a big problem with people abusing Oxycontin. We have people coming from other states, and because of these addicts consuming what I need to live on, couldn't eat, because I need medication because the pain is so bad when I eat. Before it took about 7 minutes, but right now, within 2 minutes time, my mom took me to the Elks for Thanksgiving. And I ate, they brought the salad, and I ate about a quarter of it. And I excused myself and went to the bathroom. I was crying so bad. I came back, and Mom says, honey, what's wrong? I says, I'm sorry, Mom, I can't eat. She says, you're going to be healed. But Oxycontin is the only medication that works for me. There is a group of mothers that has formed an organization called STOP, S-T-O-P-P. And it's because they formed this because their children had overdosed from Oxycontin. One of them is a nurse, and she made a statement that she just wished they got rid of Oxycontin. That wouldn't be very smart. You know, I feel sorry for the kids and the people that abuse it and die. But it's not there for them. I have had to go to pawn shops and pawn my jewelry and stuff because I don't get any help. I get Social Security, but it's not enough to live on. And with these addicts consuming what I need to live on, my pharmacies can't get a hold of it. And I actually have to bow down and go to a pill mill. My mother just spent $900 for 180 pills. To where the insurance company, you know, they didn't take insurance. Of course, all they take is cash. But I had to go, when I was on Medicaid, before I went from Medicaid to Medicare, they were paying for Oxycontin. But then they decided they weren't going to pay for it, and they said the only way they would is if I try all the pain medication on the market to see what works. I went a year and a half. Patches, you name it, I took it. And the pain still was there. After a year and a half, when we finally realized that Oxycontin is the only thing that can help me, the doctor said he don't have time to call the insurance company. You have to forgive me, I talk in circles because ever since my brain surgery, I'm learning to remember things, but there's times where I've actually literally gotten lost in areas that I've lived in Deerfield Beach for 48 years, and it took me 2 hours to get from 38th Street to 10th Street because I got lost, and it's only at the most 10-minute ride. People say, well, why don't you call me? I'll come get you. Well, how can I call you? I'm lost. Anyhow, through the years, I've been suffering with the disease. I've researched my medical records, each and every page, even the handwritten notes. And I put it together, and I put together a 54-page, what I call novel, that I sent to President Obama, Governor Chris, and at the time he was our governor, Senator David Argyle. Within 38 days from me putting it in a mailbox, I got a response. I got a response from President Obama. His letter was so personal, he even mentioned his own mother in it.